Wentz Financial Group presents Zips Basketball Weekly with John Groce. Investment management for your lifetime. Contributing sponsors include Summa Health, it's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Dilly Dilly. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, preferred hotel of Zips Athletics. By your Akron, Canton, Bryant heating and cooling dealers. And the Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Zips Basketball Weekly with head coach John Groce, brought to you as always by the Wentz Financial Group. Well, we are down to the final week of the regular season. Akron with 2 games left before tournament play begins next week. Tuesday night at home against Bowling Green, then Friday night up at Kent for the Wagon Wheel game against the Golden Flashes. Remember, that'll be a 6:30 tip-off Friday night at Kent. Coach, let's talk about last week. I know Steve French and I talked to you after every game on radio. 2 totally different reactions last week. Even though we got beat up at Buffalo, you were very complimentary about the effort of the
I thought
team.
the game, 2 contrasting games,
right,
Joe, like you're talking about it. You know, the Tuesday game, obviously we got beat. We're down 1 at the under 4.
Right.
We were up 1 at the under 8. And I thought the first 35 minutes of that game were about as well as we've played all year. I thought that offensively we were in a rhythm until the last 5 minutes where I thought our execution needed to be better. I thought defensively, I just thought it was a heavyweight boxing match type of game. Both teams going at it. Thought our guys really competed and did some good things at both ends of the floor against a very, very good Buffalo team. And really at that point thought, hey, man, we're hitting our stride here. And that's about as well as we played. And then we come into the Ohio game and just didn't have it. Certainly not to take anything away from Ohio, because I told the guys coming into the game I felt like they were playing the best basketball they had played all year, with a win over BG and a really tough loss where they were up 1 with less than a minute to go at Kent. They're playing 2 point guards now. They're playing faster. Their ball movement and cutting I felt like was better. Thought their execution against the post trap in the Kent game, knowing that we post trap some as well, was very good. That concerned me coming into our game. And, you know, they made play after play after play. And obviously Vanderplas, who hadn't shot it well all year, although that's what he does. When I say all year in league play, statistically, goes 6 for 10 from 3. So, you know, give those guys credit. They played really, really well. Usually when you see a point differential like that, the one team plays terrific, which Ohio did, and the other team plays about as bad as we've played, certainly in conference play to this point.
We're going to watch highlights of the Buffalo game in a minute, Coach, but boy, you had that crowd silence most of that game at Buffalo. They were shocked. We're down, I think, 2 or 3 points at the free throw line with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it had a little edge to us, and I just thought we played really unified. I thought our effort was good. Our execution offensively in the first half was terrific. Tyler Cheese obviously had a great first half. Thought he made good decisions for us. Finished with 6 assists in the game. Thought we took care of the ball, relatively speaking, especially against them and how many they forced fairly well, and really competed on the backboard and did a lot of really, really good things in that game.
Let's go back up to Buffalo. This past Tuesday night, the Zips taking on the #1 team in the conference and one of the top teams in the country. Highlights, as always, brought to you by Summa Health Systems, courtesy of ESPN. As you said, Coach, you get off to a great start. You playing with a ton of energy. Tyler Cheese maybe playing his best game of the year.
Yeah, played well. Here you see us getting out in transition. Dan nails a 3 in the left corner there. Our execution here, pick and roll basketball, Ivy to react. Great play. Obviously just a terrific shot there. Jackson playing downhill. Dang Riak on the backboard. I think Dang's been really active on the glass here, especially the latter half of league play. And then there's Cheese. You know, Joe making plays for us. Both there off the catch and shoot 3. There he gets into the paint, gets Channel Banks a relatively easy 15-foot shot. There's a great second cut by Dan Utomi. Offensively, we were really, really sharp. There they go under the pick and roll. Cheese takes advantage of it, buries the 3. But we just had numerous possessions where our execution, our spacing, our timing, our shot making was really, really good. And obviously we got to get back to playing that way here down the stretch.
Coach, I sat in on the scout when you talked to the team about what you want them to do during the Buffalo game, and they executed everything you told them to do. They did
fairly well.
Yeah.
I just thought that, you know, when the game was hanging in the balance, Joe, with 5 minutes to go, we just needed to be a little bit sharper. You can tell Buffalo's been there, and their guys were, and it was a great learning lesson for us. I thought we clearly played better against them in game 2 than we did game 1, even though the point differential may not indicate that. You know, I thought we played really well. You see a backdoor cut. I just thought our execution, our poise during the game, thought was really, really good and something we can build on.
13 minutes left in the game, Coach. You were up 53-48. Then you have about 2 or 3 empty possessions. You really could have stretched that out.
Yeah, we did, and really they forced their will on us defensively, made us play a little bit out of character, got into us. When that happens, you know, sometimes I think when people discuss the word toughness, they automatically think defending and rebounding, Joe. But there's also a part of being tough on offense, not letting them take your ball, catching the ball where you need to catch the ball in your offense, you know, on time, on target passes, you know, not letting guys climb up into you and make you play faster than what you need to at that time. So, you know, I thought we really struggled with that during those 3 or 4 possessions you're talking about, and that led to some transition opportunities for Buffalo and allowed them to close that gap and then obviously finish it off.
Yeah, a good team like Buffalo playing at home, you give them a little bit and they just jump on it then.
No, they did, yeah, towards the end. And you can tell, obviously they're veterans. They got a lot of seniors. They've been there before. Great learning tool and game for us, because I thought we really went toe-to-toe there. And, you know, both teams throwing haymakers and getting after it. And I really did. I said after the game, I felt like it was a heavyweight boxing match. Thought our defense really showed up and imposed its will for the majority of the game, and felt really good about how we played.
Hopefully the Zips will see Buffalo again with a lot more on the line. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now we're going to take a break. When we come back, a special feature on Channel Bank, so don't go away. We're back after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
The University of Akron is more than a college or campus.
It's a connection to the community.
To the thousands of opportunities right here in Northeast Ohio.
And to the partnerships with employers and organizations.
Like the LeBron James Family Foundation, where we connect kids to life-changing possibilities.
It's the strength of UA, this city, and these connections.
It's where students make an impact on their community and in the world.
While still making an impact
in the classroom,
on the track,
in the boardroom,
and in my community.
That's what makes us the University of Akron.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Basketball Weekly with head coach John Groce. Coach, Channel Banks, a young man that you scouted, brought into the program, and didn't realize that he had a godfather that played a lot of basketball. That's Gary Payton.
Yeah, no, he did, and had a great mentor in that regard. Obviously, there's, you know, Gary's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
His career speaks for itself. You know, hopefully he's watched us a few times and sees the defensive effort, you know, other than the Ohio game, obviously. That our teams played with for the majority of the year, and feels good about that. Channel's certainly been a big part of that. I think the thing that's been unique about Channel's, for a first-year player, he picked up our defense really quickly, Joe, and has been very consistent at contributing and helping us on that end the whole year. Sometimes it takes a guy at least a semester or more, but he picked it up really quickly. You know, obviously he has the capability of making shots as well. We've seen that. But I think the thing that stood out to me is just his, you know, willingness to buy into our defense and do some of the little things that make a big difference for us on that end of the floor.
Right now, let's meet one of the newest Zips, Channel Banks.
Hi, my name is Channel Banks. I'm a 6'5" guard from Las Vegas, Nevada. My journey was different. As a young kid, I was put in basketball at the age of 3 and kind of fell in love with it from there. It was a struggle not having a father figure throughout my life, and when I was 7 years old, I have a good friend that's like a brother to me. So they named Gary Payton my godfather, and from then, it's been good for me. My relationship with the glove is amazing. He's been there for me since day one. He always had, you know, he always thought I was good and always pushed me to be better than what I really was. And he's been there as a father figure to me, and always kept me on my toes regarding out of basketball and in basketball situations. Our relationship was very good from the time we played. I played with his youngest kid in like 4th or 5th grade. That's when we started playing with each other. And ever since like the first game I played with him, he's just always been on me, always making sure I'm doing the right thing instead of the wrong thing. And he's just been there throughout my whole life. And then recently we haven't been talking much because he's busy with the NBA season and talking with meetings overseas. But recently we talked a good, like every other week, at least once or twice a week, and just trying to build on our relationship. And number one is defense. That's who he was, and that's what made him who he is today. So I just try to like take that from him because we both have that passion. We want to win, and defense takes you to win. Like you have to play defense to win. And just whatever he tells me, just going in one ear and keeping it in there because he's done this. He's made a lot of money doing this, so he knows what he's talking about. The difference between JUCO and D1, JUCO is more you got to go get yours. You got to go prove yourself to all the Division I coaches, D2 coaches, that you could play on this level, and you really got to work and get out the mud, we say. So meaning like we got to really work for what we get. And D1 is really what I expected. It's people are stronger, it's more physical, and you got to come out here and work hard every day to prove yourself, to get those minutes and to get those reps. My personal goals is just doing whatever I could to, let Akron win and make Akron win. I want to be the team to take Akron to the NCAA tournament. That's the stuff I'm focused on, and we're not there yet, but we will get there. As far as personal, I just want to be the best player I could be, and I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. I feel like I'm achieving pretty good as far as being a team player and an individual player, and the best is yet to come.
Well, Coach, if you're going to have a mentor, nobody better than an NBA All-Star, right?
Yeah, obviously, especially Gary was a really good offensive player as well. Obviously impacted that in at a pretty high level. But defensively, man, when I was growing up, about as good an on-ball defender as there is that's played. He's certainly in that breadth of guys that are, So, yeah, no question about it. Great mentor for Channel.
We're going to take a break, come back and talk about the Ohio University game this past Saturday afternoon right after this.
Roman was born with a hole in his heart. But thanks to the experts at Summa who found the problem and fixed it quickly, he's feeling 26 again. Not 76. Minimally invasive heart procedures, many performed in under 2 hours. Summa Health, vital for getting back in the game and more.
Sir Jeremy, you are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Madam Susan, you are an even truer friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. What is that?
This is a spiced honey mead wine that I have really been into lately.
Please follow Sir Brad. He's going to give you a private tour of the Pit of Misery.
I'm sorry, what? Pit of Misery. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Here's to the friends you can always count on.
Well, the Ohio University Bobcats came to Akron on Saturday afternoon, Coach, and boy, there was a lot riding on this one. Maybe playoffs, the first round, everything was riding on this one, and I know you were disappointed.
Yeah, very. Obviously, with 3 games to go, mathematically going into the game, there was a lot of, there's basically 8 teams, Joe, that could finish somewhere between, 4 through 11. Certainly the games coming up also have some meaning as well, obviously, because you have that team's playing for home court. But, I was really disappointed in the way that we played. And again, I thought, we were abysmal and I thought they were terrific. So, I don't certainly want to take anything away from them. I said that at the outset of the show. They've played well now 3 games in a row. I saw it coming into the game. I just felt like we didn't have the same edge that we had Tuesday night against Buffalo for whatever reason. And, we've got to figure that out pretty quickly because you got the next one coming. You got one of the better teams, certainly from a record perspective in our league, coming in here on Tuesday night, on senior night, and we've got to get our toughness back, our togetherness back, and we got to play a lot more intelligently. I thought they were the tougher team. Thought their energy level was better than ours. And as I told the players, I'm one of those guys, I take full responsibility for that. So we've got to figure it out, and we will.
Let's go back to Rhodes Arena this past Saturday afternoon. The Zips against Ohio University highlights once again brought to you by Summa Health Systems, courtesy of ESPN. Coach, I think everybody was surprised the way the game started. You get down, 7-2, and you kept waiting for the Zips to make a run, but it never happened.
Yeah, I thought our shot making was obviously anemic, and sometimes you can control that, you can't. But I thought the thing that stood out to me was in the 14 turnovers we had, Joe, 7 of them, they just flat out took our ball. Yeah. Either while we were dribbling or while we had possession of it, and that's what I meant earlier by being soft. In addition to that, we shot 37% in the paint, which is a season low for us on paint field goals. You got to have some toughness to finish in and around that basket. I thought we missed too many layups. We missed too many opportunities in the paint. And then defensively, our communication was poor. We weren't connected as well as we needed to be. I thought that our rotations were late. They weren't on point. And we were just a step slow all night on that end of the floor. So we've got to learn from it pretty quickly here and, get to the next round. Obviously, the 17th round, I've called it the gauntlet all year. Round 17 is Tuesday night. And we got to be a lot better than what we were certainly in this game in all aspects. Because really, Ohio, there wasn't one aspect that we outplayed Ohio in. Ohio outplayed us in every aspect of the game.
We're going to talk about Ding Riek a little bit later, but he has had 2 back-to-back pretty good games, 11 points in both games. I thought he played pretty well Saturday. Yeah,
he wasn't as efficient as we'd like for him to be, Joe. Obviously, his stat line with the 8 boards and 11 points, but he did it on 10 field goals. Shots he got in the game, he should have been about 6 for 10 instead of 4 for 10, 6 or 7 for 10. And obviously, we know that makes a big difference. And then 0 assists, 5 turnovers. I mean, that's not going to cut it. I know he's not a guard. He's a front court player, but he's got to be more sure with the ball than what he was. So no different than the rest of the guys who played. He certainly can play a lot better than he did.
Zips down big at the half, and as we said, Coach, I think everybody in the building expected the Zips to come out and make a run in that second half.
Yeah, we started out the first 4 or 5 minutes. I thought we tried to guard defensively. We made some errors on the offensive end, and they just had an answer every time. In particular, Vanderplas was terrific. I give him a lot of credit. And I thought Doug Taylor in and around the rim posed some problems for us. He was a big part of that 37% that we shot in the paint. I thought he made plays. And then I thought Preston was terrific passing the ball, 5 assists to 0 turnovers, and seemed to make the right play and help them get easy baskets. Like I said, I don't think it was really, one area. I thought it was all areas of the game where we got outplayed Saturday.
We're going to take a break, come back and announce our Players of the Week right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Air Comfort. Find them at aircomfortohio.com.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Basketball Weekly. Now it's time for Whose Stock is Rising, brought to you each week by the Wentz Financial Group. How about the walk-on freshman from St. Vincent St. Mary? That is guard Scott Walder. Boy, he got a lot of minutes Saturday against Ohio University. Didn't score a lot, Coach, but he also didn't turn it over.
No, certainly that was, if there was, I don't want to say a bright spot because there really wasn't any, but it did allow him to play 13 minutes. He defended. He took care of the ball. He did what Scott Walter does. I mean, Scott's really good in both of those areas. Thought he did some good things. And then, I thought it also gave us a chance to throw the ball inside to Dang late and try to get him some touches and work that part of the game as well. But, other than that, those might be the only 2 silver linings in that one, Joe.
Yeah, congratulations to Scott Walder, the young man out of St. Vincent St. Mary. Our player of the week, we talked about him a few minutes ago. How about Deng Riak out of Melbourne, Australia? 2 pretty good games last week, especially that Buffalo game.
Yeah, I thought he was really good defensively in that game, active, on the backboard, was 4 for 5 from the field, efficient in that area, protected the rim. Thought all in all, it may have been one of his best all-around games, Joe, in an Akron uniform. And then, unfortunately, like all of us on Saturday, coaches, players, we just didn't get it done. He struggled a little bit, obviously, on Saturday on the defensive end, which is very atypical of him. And then could have been a little bit more efficient, as we said earlier in the show, in and around the basket, like the shots you just saw right there. He had quite a few of those. Felt like he could have been about 6 or 7 for 10 instead of 4 for 10. But I certainly think he's made a lot of strides from the beginning of the year till now. And, obviously, when our defense plays well, as we've talked so many times, he's a huge part of that.
He averaged 11 points and 8 rebounds in 2 games last week. We're going to take a break. When we come back to Zips with 2 big games coming up this week. Tuesday night at home against Bowling Green, then Friday night a 6:30 tip-off at Kent against the Golden Flashes. We're going to come back and talk about those 2 games right after this.
The University of Akron is more than a college or campus.
It's a connection to the community.
To the thousands of opportunities right here in Northeast Ohio.
And to the partnerships with employers and organizations.
Like the LeBron James Family Foundation, where we connect kids to life-changing possibilities.
It's the strength of UA, this city, and these connections.
It's where students make an impact on their community and in the world.
While still making an impact
in the classroom,
on the track, in the boardroom,
and in my community.
That's what makes us the University of Akron.
Roman was born with a hole in his heart. But thanks to the experts at Summa who found the problem and fixed it quickly, he's feeling 26 again. Not 76. Minimally invasive heart procedures, many performed in under 2 hours. Summa Health, vital for getting back in the game and more.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, this is the final week of the regular season, and for Akron, boy, 2 important games beginning Tuesday night against Bowling Green, Friday night against Kent State. Coach, you've said all along, all you want to do is get to Cleveland. You've been up there many times. Some crazy things happen up there. You got to get there and see what happens.
No question. I think that's, obviously to have any opportunity, you have to do that part. But, even before that, we have to play better, obviously, than we did on Saturday, and that's something we can control, especially the taking care of the ball, our block out percentage, our rotations on defense, our focus. I always tell them I want them to be mentally tight and physically loose. And aggressiveness. I didn't feel like we had the right, we call it EMP, emotional, mental, and physical engagement. I didn't feel like we were engaged in any of those three areas on Saturday. And for us, we have been by far the majority of the year. To play the defense we've played, you have to do that. So we've got to get back to playing that way on Tuesday night. There's nothing more important than that. Obviously, 2 great challenges this week. And there's some teams right now that their season's over. It finished this weekend.
Exactly.
For us, we get an opportunity to play this week and beyond, and with something to play for. And so we've got to be grateful for that and have the right mindset as we approach Tuesday night's game against Bowling Green.
As I mentioned in radio after the Ohio game, Coach, these will be 2 emotional games. Tuesday at senior night, we say goodbye to Jamond Ivey, and always an emotional game when you take on Kent State.
Yeah, plus Bowling Green beat us before,
Exactly.
So there's that aspect of it too. Then the rivalry game's a rivalry game. You're right. I mean, the energy level and emotion, there's no excuse for not having any, right? If you aren't necessarily motivated to play in either of those 2 games, I really would strongly suggest maybe tiddlywinks, or you should try do something else, because that's not what we're looking for. So you're right, from an energy level standpoint. Now we got to make sure that physically and mentally we get them ready to go and do our part as coaches at a higher level. But you're right, there should be an extra, emotion and energy and a little bit of pep in their step.
Exactly. Hope to see a lot of fans at Rhodes Arena on Tuesday night, and especially up at Kent on Friday night. That'll be a 6:30 tip-off. Zips trying to finish strong now, heading up to Cleveland. For head coach John Groce, I'm Joe Dunn. Thanks for watching East Week. We're back next week to talk more University of Akron basketball. And as always, go Zips.
Wentz Financial Group presents Zips Basketball Weekly with John Groce. investment management for your lifetime. Contributing sponsors include Summa Health, it's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Dilly Dilly. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, preferred hotel of Zips Athletics. By your Akron, Canton, Bryant heating and cooling dealers. And the Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna.